What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? What's
Nothing
happening
much.
inside? How's everything? My brother Reggie, what's going on, brother? How are you?
Man, making it look good today, brother. I'm just glad to
Yeah,
be
man.
alive and be landing.
To lead and train and coach some veterans, man, and talk about two of my favorite subjects, right? Student loans and the VA home loan. Yes, it's an awesome opportunity for veterans through both of these programs that we're going to discuss today, and I've benefited from both of them, but you have a pretty interesting background as well outside of being an amazing coach here at VA Claims Insider. Tell everybody a little bit about yourself.
Of course, my name is Coach Reggie. I'm prior U.S. Navy.
Go
Did
Navy.
one, yeah, go Navy. Woo, woo. Not knocking all the other branches, but yeah, did one enlistment in the Navy. I worked on the flight line along with being a OS as well, and had a great time seeing 20 different countries and met a lot of great people around the world and just grew in so many different areas. Um, but with that in mind, it also brought me to this piece here is that, as you guys may know, may not know, I'm also a licensed realtor with my wife and I. We're with the More Legacy Group at EXP Realty. And we've been doing this ever since 2016. A lot of military home buyers out there, a lot of first-time home buyers, and telling all my vets right now, this is a perfect opportunity to right now buy a home because of the real good deals with interest rates. And then also the fact that the VA itself actually took the cap off of the home loan amount.
Right.
A lot of people don't know there used to be a cap on that, and the cap used to be around $510,000.
Mm-hmm.
And now the cap is raised up to $548,250, which is
Mm-hmm.
awesome. So that's one of the big things there. And another thing too that some vets may think, they're like, man, I've already purchased a home. Can I get another home? Yes, you can. You can buy another home. And speaking of which, you're in the process right now, right?
Absolutely, man. I just closed on my home Monday, right? Doing a new construction build. So people don't know, new construction to a permanent loan process, and then you basically refinance at the end. And I will be utilizing my VA home loan for the third time, right? So I absolutely love it, man. A little bit about myself. My name is Terrell Murrell. I am the Director of Engagement here at VA Claims Insider. I've been a part of the VA Claims Insider family for about 4 years now. Have worked here for about 3. And I am also United States Navy. I honorably served for 14 amazing years. I was a mess specialist and then converted to a culinary specialist. And I loved every day of it. But I really feel like this is my true calling and purpose here at VA Claims Insider, right? So once I got here, it felt like home, right? So
Right.
it reminded me of being on the aircraft carrier, man, and just kind of dealing with your brothers and sisters every day for a greater good. So it's awesome, man.
That is a blessing, brother. And, it's that camaraderie,
Yep.
that's something that can never be, matched out of anything else, because for life you have a band of brothers and a band of sisters that you can talk with,
Mm-hmm.
that you can relate with. And the thing I love about is that it meets all cultures, everybody.
Yeah.
We come together to meet that one objective, and that's for our country and for our family. So this is truly amazing, truly amazing. And as you know, when it comes down to families, that's what makes up a home, is family. And that's the huge important thing. And I tell my vets, one of the main things what you want to do first when you're getting to your home loan with the VA is you want to call the VA regional office and to get the particulars on it. That is a great idea to do. And I'll just give you some information here real quick, because some veteran may be like, hey, what's the number to call? That number is 1-877-827-3702, and they're available Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. But you can also check out your eligibility on your e-benefits website.
Okay.
I urge all vets to do that. Take a look. That information is very, very valuable, because there's a lot of benefits out there that we vets forget about, especially when it comes down to big ticket items like this, because the biggest investment you make of your life outside of yourself and your family is your home.
Mm-hmm.
That is the big thing.
Yeah, it's a big ticket item, man. Definitely, for sure. But good, right? You were speaking. Yeah, I'm just agreeing with you. Yeah, no.
Yes, indeed. Had to give you the flow.
Yeah, no, you're
But
good.
yeah, so with that in mind, you want to make sure you check your eligibility. Make sure you have your letter, because your VA home loan lender is going to ask you, hey, do you have the eligibility letter?
Mm-hmm.
You want to make sure you print it out, give it to your lender, and then also speak with your lender about how much you can afford. You need to sit down and develop a budget. That is
Right.
the big thing. You got to know how much you're going to spend. You can't just say, hey, I want to get this big $700,000 crib. I want to live in it, live great, but the pockets got to match the budget.
Right. So I think a lot of common misconceptions, right? And even I had it early on in the process, right? I didn't become a homeowner until I was 34, 35 years old. So really late in the game. Because I was just moving a lot, right? Being in the military and having a military spouse, it just, it was a cause for me to constantly be moving every 2 or 3 years. So I never wanted to get locked into anything. And I can kind of, I'll share my experience. Yeah, I'll share my experiences later with that process. But a lot of veterans don't understand that, when you say VA home loan, they believe it's just a loan given by the VA, right? But what it really is a guarantee if you default on that loan. And it used to be a maximum amount. I think it was $144,000, but now it's just 25% of the entire total cost of the loan. So when you get to a particular lender, what you can afford is what they say. Like I know particular lenders here in the state of Maryland, you can get a VA home loan on $1 million home.
That is awesome.
Yeah. So the VA would basically guarantee that they would pay $250,000 to that particular lender if you defaulted on your home. And that is one of the huge benefits of the VA home loan.
And that's a big thing, because like I said, that VA home loan is one of the best products I've seen out there. I mean, of course, you got conventional, you have also FHA out there, USDA loans. But with those other loans, you got to come with down payments. And that's the beauties of the VA home loan. There's no down payment requirements.
Mm-hmm.
I love it, especially for those out there just getting their stuff established, like a new family.
Right.
Great to get going with, And then the other thing, too, that makes this VA home loan different from other loans out there, there is no PMI insurance required. And a vet was like, hey, Reg, what's PMI insurance? It's private mortgage insurance.
Yeah.
Got to break that down.
Yeah. So what's the private mortgage insurance, and how is that beneficial in reference to the VA home loan? Like I said, I'm really a novice when it comes to real estate. Like I said, even at Home 3, they be explaining stuff to me, and I'm like, all right, man, whatever. Right? Tell me where I need to sign all these papers and where to cut the check if y'all need something from me.
Absolutely. So what the PMI basically does is that, let's say if you had a different type of loan, FHA or USDA loan, this insurance backs the lender just in case you default on the loan.
Yeah.
So there's extra fees that you're paying into. So not only you're paying for the mortgage, but there's the second loan, which is the PMI that you're paying into if you have another loan. But see, VA loans is just one loan clear across the board.
Nice.
Streamlined.
Okay, so yeah, so you know how people have a first mortgage and a second mortgage. So the VA home loan is just one solid thing.
One solid thing.
Okay, all right, now I'm tracking. All right, awesome.
Yep.
Cool.
So that's that there.
Yeah, so in your journeys throughout helping veterans throughout this process, what are some of the things that are most concerning or misconceptions that you hear the most, right? So I defer to you as the expert when it comes to this matter. Like I said, you've been doing it for 5+ years now. So what are some of the things that you've seen that could help our fellow insiders here, or something that somebody, common questions, right? Or FAQs for that matter? Yeah.
I would say, again, number one, knowing your budget. That's a big thing.
Okay.
Number two, I'll probably say this would be more important even than the budget. I would say pray on it and manifest your dream. That is the big thing, because when it comes down to buying a home, there are some obstacles that you may run into. And I'll just tell you some stories.
Yeah,
So for
yeah.
instance, all right, we had a buyer from over Washington State, Navy buyer, and this is probably about 2 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
They wanted to buy a home, and it was a virtual buying.
Mm-hmm.
So they said, you know what, we want to buy this home, but we will not be there with you and your wife. So essentially, we popped up the phone, had an iPhone, did a video, and showed them the home, but they had to sign disclosure that we were not responsible per, of course, us being there from showing you the home,
Yeah.
basically saying that you're not there. So you had to sign that disclosure. So we're
Mm-hmm.
getting a lot of vets that's doing that. They're coming from different states, different locations. PCS and then is doing virtual buying. You just got to be comfortable if you decide to do a virtual buying. We're getting a lot of questions with that. You know,
Okay.
making sure you read that disclosure and know what you may be responsible for, and then making sure that whatever realtor you do pick, or whatever company that you go for the brokerage, that they do their due diligence and doing the research for you because
Mm-hmm.
you're not there, showing you the good and the bad. Don't just have the realtor showing you the great spots of the house and, oh yeah, the home's great, oh it looks good, but then all of a sudden there's a huge crack right there in the wall that the realtor did not show you because they just want to get a sale.
Right.
So that's another thing. You want to make sure you interview the right type of realtor that's going to really have your back. And it's not necessarily the volume amount of homes that they sold, because sometimes you may get that realtor that's so big in the game that
Mm-hmm.
they forget about you. And you don't want to be just another number. You want to make sure that person is communicating with you, that if anything comes up, that they will communicate to you in a timely manner, because it's very, very important.
Right.
Very important.
Awesome. So from an eligibility standpoint, who's eligible, right? I know that veterans are current active duty service members, reservists are National Guard members, and even some surviving spouses are also eligible for the VA home loan. So if your spouse was to pass away on in service, or if they pass away from a service-connected disability, they're also eligible for the VA home loan.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. As long as your honor be served, you qualify.
Okay. And we talked a
Absolutely.
little bit about the certificate of eligibility that you can get from ebenefitsva.gov, and then you hand that letter over to your lender, and then they start getting to work.
That's right. Now, another thing that does come up when you're
Mm-hmm.
shopping for homes,
Mm-hmm.
a veteran will say, what is a pre-qual versus a pre-approval?
Yeah.
All right. Pre-qual is when a lender just takes a quick snapshot of what you make and based on how much you're bringing in
Right.
the house that you're looking to buy. That's
Right.
it.
So they start looking at your income to debt ratio, right? And
Yep.
see what you qualify. Okay. All right.
That's
Continue
the
on, brother.
beginning
Yeah.
process. The pre-approval is what you really want to aim for, where not only the lender looks at your initial debt to income ratio,
Mm-hmm.
but at the same time, they put your information through the underwriter. The underwriter is a person that's behind the scenes, kind of like the Wizard of Oz behind the veil.
Mm-hmm.
They're looking at your income that you supply to them, whether it's from your LES or from your regular civilian job. You
Mm-hmm.
supply them that information along with what's on your credit report, and then of course how much you can afford from
Right.
your budget.
Okay. Oh, that's interesting, man. What other questions I had? Like I said, I'm sitting here reading some of the comments from all the mastermind groups and everything. We got some really good stuff. They're asking, can you refinance and get a better rate with the VA home loan process?
Absolutely, you can do a refi, and it's just basically like a streamline.
Right.
They just refi it. They'll send their appraisal out sometimes to come look at the house,
Yeah.
to make sure the value is there, and then you just had to refinance with the lender.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And I go to my mailbox, man. I'm a super tech guy, man. So I literally bank and do everything online. So the only thing I get in the mail today is these IRRL documents to say, hey, we can save you some money if you refinance your home today, right? So man, they are. I am pre-opt in, and they are spamming me. I mean, literally, I get sales flyer circulars and a bunch of IRRL letters in the mail.
That is true, because right now a lot of lenders, it's an interesting thing, because whenever the market shifts and fluctuates,
Mm-hmm.
you get one side of the market actually people struggling to try to get people to do one thing because everybody's buying.
Mm-hmm.
So one side will pick up, one side go down. So you notice there's different sides of the market that picks up with the IRAA,
Yeah.
trying to get you to refi your home because they notice that everybody's buying. So now they're trying to gravitate and pick up on the people that may want to go back out there and do it, including my mortgage company.
Right.
They've done me the same way. Hey,
Right.
Reggie, we noticed that you have a home here. Would you like to refi at this time? No.
Yeah. So, hey, Laura, to answer your question is interest rate reduction refinance loan. If you currently have a VA loan or don't, and they know that you're a veteran, they're going to start sending you stuff in the mail because they're trying to absorb that debt for them, and then ultimately make interest because it's 30 years most of the time, right? Some people are fortunate to get 15-year loans, but that's still a lot of money is going to that particular bank. So if they can lower your interest rate, which ultimately lowers your payment to that particular lender, then they're going to do so. Like I said, I've gotten some that says 1.9, 2.2, right? And they're trying to basically lower my mortgage amount by $700, $800, $900 sometimes. Right. And as I was sharing with everybody, I was going through this entire process myself. So I didn't want to really look into it. But now I'm in the process of selling and looking and kind of going from there and seeing what I can do. Because, everybody wants to pay less.
Yeah.
Honestly. Yeah.
That's exactly right. And I'm going to tell you another thing, too. I'm going to piggyback off when people see a lot of these interest rates. One thing you want to cautious, especially you buying a home, I would say some lenders, they will advertise a promotional rate just to get your foot in the door with them. But it's not really true because they're basing off of if you're going to buy down the rate or the discount points.
Right.
So you got to be wary of that because there's some lenders out there say, oh, my rate is lower than yours. Ask them, how is it lower? What are you using? Discount points that you're saying I'm going to pay for? Buyback points? What is it? And that's what you want to ask yourself about. And then also another thing I urge my vets to do is do your research on the lender themselves and the lender institution themselves. Check them out. Don't just go with the first one. Do an interviewing process. See which one is going to gel with you. See how quick they get the loan done, because some banks or credit unions that say, oh yeah, we can get this loan done, but then guess what? It's taking them 45 days or 60 days to get the loan done because they've got a lot of hands in the pot.
Right.
And that can kick out the process. So,
interesting.
Yep. So you want to do your homework. Yep, absolutely.
I see a lot of people asking some questions, and they're asking what type of homes can you purchase, right? So you can buy a single family home up to 4 units. You can buy a condo. You can buy a home that needs home improvement through the VA loan. You can buy a manufactured home. You can buy a land or lot to build a new home. And you can also get a VA home loan to make some improvements on the home or the outside structure itself, like solar panels and things of that nature, right?
That's exactly right.
It's awesome.
Exactly right. And I'm gonna tell you guys some other benefits to this loan. I might have said this before. There's no longer a maximum loan amount. So I just want to reiterate that again. Now, there are some downsides. I would say some downsides to the VA loan. And I will admit there are a few, because everything has positive negatives in this universe, right? Good and bad, right? So with the downsides, the VA charges a funding fee, and typically that's financed to the client's loan, right?
Yeah.
But if you are service connected for a disability, that gets waived.
Right.
So then it goes back to a plus or a benefit, right? So that's that there.
You have to be at least 10%, correct?
Yeah, at least 10%. That's affirmative.
Yeah, got it.
That's exactly right. And another thing too, as the other downside, is VA loans can only be used on primary residencies, not on a second home like an investment property, right?
Yeah.
Because I get some vets like, hey man, can I go buy another property now?
Yeah.
I have attended a convention or event called a house hacking event. where there were certain people out there teaching vets, of course, buying a house and how to strategically buy the second property, but it's a different type of program.
Okay.
So you just have to make it work in a different type of manner. So
right. And I do recall they used to say that you had to live in that property for at least 2 years after you get your VA home loan and stuff like that.
Absolutely. 2 years minimum. That is correct. Certainly correct.
Awesome.
And another thing too, as you're going for the loan, the only people that can co-sign on the loan itself is the spouse. So I'll just let you guys know that if you have a big household, that's the only person that can go on the VA loan with you. All right.
Interesting. Yeah. Yep. That's awesome, man.
Yep. Just gotta remember that. And the last but not least, the appraisal. With the appraisals right now, this is a kicker right here. With the appraisal process with VA home loans, they are stringent on the requirements because, of course, this loan is backed by the government, but they want to make sure that the home that you're buying is in sound and in good condition. Because right now, with it being a seller's market, it's extremely important that you're getting a good home because we're noticing right now in the market that some people are waiving home inspections. Just waiting just to get the house, which is great because you get the offer and possibly increase your chances of winning. But on the downside, it can bite you later on because of the fact that the appraiser got to say, hey, you know, this electricity is bad, or we notice that there's chip paint all across the property, you know? So you got to get those remedied by the seller.
Yeah. It's a lot of stuff happening in the market right now. Like I said, man. My house where I currently live, it's literally the only one in the area, right? If it goes on the market. Yeah. So, man, it's definitely a time to seize the opportunity for a lot of people, man. So if you're really involved or need some help or looking for some assistance, you can definitely reach out to Reggie. You know, he's here at the VA Claims Insider. He'll kind of offer you any advice that he can legally, ethically, and morally provide. And we can go from there. That's awesome.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And another thing I tell my vets too, you know, if you decide to go with a home inspection, make sure you do your research with them too, because it's going to be a team of people that's going to be helping you. You know, it's going to be your lender, of course, your family, first and foremost, family and God. And then also it's going to be your termite inspector, your home inspector, the appraisal. Everybody is on board, and including your title company.
Right.
Now, that's another thing too. I tell people you want to do research on them because let's say, for instance, right, you buy a home, and within about a week prior to closing, guess what? The title company and settlement company found out there's a lien on the property.
Oh.
And they didn't do their research in time enough, or there's a cloud going on, or there's an IRS lien. So you want to make sure that the title company or real estate attorney closing company, they do it enough time out. So you want to do your research on these people to make sure you can get a closing with the company that's going to be as smooth as possible through the transaction. I'm going to also kind of veer into some interesting points about the VA home loan that people may not know. Is one thing is this: a widow of a deceased veteran can use that veteran's VA entitlement. So let's say, for instance, your loved one died in battle or died while they were serving. They also can get the advantages of using that VA home loan. You know, so that's what I want to put out there, because I actually had that question this morning. Somebody texted me that question, so I had to send them the website information on that. So that is usable. Another thing too here is again, the funding fee is a one-time payment to the veteran and service member. And realize if you do get service connected for any disabilities, let's say 9, 10 years later, 5 years later, guess what? Your mortgage company, they find out, they will actually do a refund to you for that funding fee. It was a beauty because I had a check for like $800, $900. I was like, man, show me the money.
That's awesome.
I was like, make it rain.
Yeah. Oh man. Yeah. So good comment from my brother Rob Nichols. So I wanted to speak specifically about the if you default on your VA home loan, that the VA will recoup your VA disability compensation until that amount is paid back, or unless you apply for a waiver. So I believe that was a question that may have come up. Thanks, Rob. I appreciate that.
Thank
Yeah,
you, Rob. Absolutely.
awesome.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes, indeed. So yeah, that is a few of the interesting things about the VA home loan itself. And of
Mhm.
course, again, you can use it again. And there's a way that you can get on the eBenefits website and you
Mhm.
can check if you have existing VA home loan and
Mhm.
see how much of a difference that you can use towards your next home,
Okay.
you know?
Yeah.
So don't let it stop you. If you already got a VA home loan, hey, get another home, But just make sure you do your research and speak to that lender. So now we're going to go ahead and break over into the student loan.
Let's pivot. All right,
Woo!
man. So let me get into this, man. Let me get in my zone so I can talk about this. Um, so on my journey uh, through life, when I was in the Navy, they said, "Hey, to get promoted, you got to get a degree," right? And I was like, "Well, I joined the Navy. Why would I want that?" Right? So um, I started working on my bachelor's degree in business, and at that point, they were saying, "Hey, if you want to become a master chief, you gotta get a master's degree." And I was like, I had aspirations, man, to make it all the way to CSMC or CSCM, and and I knew that a part of that was my education. So after I got my bachelor's degree, I said, you know what? Let me go ahead and get my master's degree. So I started working on my MBA in finance. Um, got out the Navy after 14 years due to defense budget cuts, right? That's how I like to say it. And I was downsizing time frame. So all my aspirations to be a chief, senior chief, master chief were quelled with that action. But I got out of the Navy and I had $175,000 in student loan debt. Well, when I was separated from service, my income drastically reduced from what I was making in the Navy to my first job offer, right? So a lot of things went bad, man. I'm gonna be uncomfortably vulnerable here, right? So, went through a pretty well, I wouldn't say easy divorce, and then coupled with that, I filed for bankruptcy. So I wasn't really in a position to really take care of my student loans. I got the VA Claims Insider, like I shared with everybody in the spring of 2017, and I didn't have a rating at all. I was not rated at all. Brian started the elite program, which a lot of veterans here that we're servicing are a part of. Shout out to all our elite members and the coaches that are servicing them every day. And I was one of the first ones to go through the program. So I went to 10% to 60 to 80 to 90. And then I finally went to 100 July 25th of 2019. Lots of ups and downs to that process. Like I tell everybody, my journey was not the one of 30 days, 45 days, 3 months. My journey from nothing to 100% took me about 26 months. And I'm thankful for all of those because it was a lot of lessons learned and people that I was servicing and helping every day through some of the things that I was going through. But I recall the day that I went to 100%. The VA called me, asked me about one of my dependents. I thought that was strange. They never called me. I went into my e-benefits and it said 100%. In about a 20-minute time span, I printed out my letter, went down to my local tax office in Belton, Texas, and took them my letter. And I said, yep, I'm 100%. I no longer want to pay property tax. And guess what? They agreed. Said, Roger that, right? So I gave them my letter, went back home, and I said, well, what's next? And I knew a little bit about this program, but I knew I needed to dig deeper into the TPD discharge, right? Total and permanent discharge, or disabilitydischarge.com is the website. And somebody will type it in the bottom, one of our great teammates for all our people that are watching. That's disabilitydischarge.com. And it's called the TPD discharge program. And that can be really intimidating to a lot of veterans because of the name of the program, it makes you believe that you have to be totally and permanently disabled through the VA to get it. That is the biggest myth and misconception. I'm going to quote that right now. All you have to do is be 100% disabled to get your student loans discharged, right? It doesn't have to be P&T. The other way you can do it is to have individual unemployability, which means you're compensated at the 100% rate, and you'll do it. So I went to the website, I created an account, logged in, and I started filling out the online application. It asked me things like my name, my address, my social security number, my phone number, and my date of birth. And that was it. I printed out the application. It asks you to go ahead and manually fill in some of that information, and you can do a couple things. You can fax it, you can email it, you can scan it in, you can upload it right there online. A couple different ways to do it. And all you have to do is attach your 100% letter that you print out, your disability letter from eBenefits, and attach it with that application. And then you click submit. So an interesting thing happens in that process, right? They start to gather all of your student loan amounts. It'll pop up on the website probably in about 7 or 14 days. You go down and confirm everything that you have from your federally backed student loans. And then you just wait, right? I waited a total of about 35 or 40 days. And then I got an email in my inbox that said that my student loans were discharged. And it would take another week for it to show that they were completely zeroed out. I waited that week, and sure enough, got another email that said, "Hey, Terrell, congratulations, your student loans are completely discharged." And I'll tell you about the weight that was lifted off of my shoulder. I did not know how or in what lifetime or 2 or 3 that I was going to pay $175,000 back in student loans. But when I went to 100% disabled and I was able to take advantage of the TPD discharge program, those student loans were discharged in about 45 days. And after about day 50, 55, it reflected on my credit report that it was no longer there. I actually did a video in my previous role here at VA COE, and my video is about 4.5 minutes long, right? And people are like, "Why isn't it longer?" And I said, it's not much to it than what it is, right? The application is really simple. Loading that document, or like I said, you can do it right there. It's me talking about the process and the scenario, but it's one of those benefits that veterans can truly take advantage of if you are have student loans that you are currently paying for, or things you have in forbearance, or and then once you get to 100%, you're right there, right, and you're able to take advantage of that. So that $175,000 changed my life, man. Seriously, right?
Wow.
Man.
How much was your payments on that thing?
Whew, like 9, 11.
Wow.
But life just kept happening, right? So I was moving, I was switching careers and kind of going through the motion. So a lot of times I was in deferment or I was in forbearance through the entire process. But it felt so good to seek and get the help that I needed with that. And it was because I honorably served my country, man. I didn't know about it, and a lot of veterans don't know about it, and it's not out there. So when I was in charge of education and training here at VA Claims Insider, I wanted to ensure that veterans were able to know about this program and how it could help them, right? And still today, I think last week a veteran was like, "Oh, you got to be 100% permanent in total," right? I'm listen to the sound of my voice. You have to be 100% and 100% it. I'm 100% permanent in total now, but when I applied in July, I was not. I was just 100%. And again, it's 100% or TDIU, temporary disability, individual unemployability.
This is definitely true. Hey, one of the vets had a question.
Yep.
Sean Bruce says, anyone know if there is a pathway to discharge Sallie Mae student loans for my children? We did not qualify for student loans, so we had to go to Sallie Mae.
Are the student loans in your name, Sean, or the student loans in your child's name? That's the question I would ask. The program is designed for student loans to be discharged in your name for student loans that you use for your education.
Yep. Got to be that particular person's name.
Yep.
Absolutely. Speaking of which, I'm actually processing of getting my student loans discharged.
Nice.
And I just sent the application in, and it was basically a company called NailNet.
NailNet, yep.
Yep, NailNet. And they basically say, hey, fill out these forms here, page 1, here, social, name, address here, sign the bottom, send it in. Then it goes to the student loan company, and then basically they do their magic. And of course, it takes, a little bit of time before it discharges out. So, yeah.
So some common misconceptions I also want to clear up for everybody and let y'all know that the student loan discharge does it in batches, right? So let's say they do 500 student loans, right? If you are student loan application number 1, your time may be a little longer versus the person who's student loan application number 500, as their time will be shorter, right? So they don't just process them all in one fell swoop. I do know they do it in batches. I've heard they do it on a monthly basis. Some places told me they do it on a weekly basis, and that's just from my inside track of knowing a few people who work in that program, in that process. Another thing is the poverty restrictions or the income restrictions. That does not count for VA disability. You do not fall under that program, because also included in that program is the SSI portion. So for any veterans who can hear my voice, just ignore that side of it, as you don't fall in that criteria, unless you are TDIU, where you are already bound to specific income restrictions as a part of that program because you're no longer able to work. But if you're 100% disabled scheduler, then you don't have any income restrictions or requirements, and they don't ask you to take they won't start asking you to pay back those student loans if you default on that process.
Awesome. Not to get too personal, but how much did your credit score jump up?
Oh no, Ryan, that's not a personal question at all. Not a personal question at all. It was probably about 55 points across the board. Yeah. So yeah, Rick, that definitely felt good, man. It definitely felt good. If you have any questions about the student loan discharge program, please don't hesitate to reach out to me or Reggie as well. Email me, check me out here on Facebook. I'm Terrell at VAClaimsInsider.com. Like I said, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. I will offer any information to you. I've helped a lot of veterans throughout this process because I personally went through it, and I think personal experience is sometimes the best experience. I've done a lot here at VA Claims Insider as a client first, and I've helped thousands of veterans get exactly what they need and rightfully deserve. Any questions about the student loan discharge? Okay, I'm curious as the website link an email.
And then I think Gerald.
Okay, yeah, we'll link it back up there. Yeah, it's disabilitydischarge.com. Mm-hmm. Super easy website. Like I said, you go in there and create an account, and it was really quick and it's really simple, and I don't like to overcomplicate anything that doesn't have to be overcomplicated. But the disability discharge is a wonderful program.
Oh yeah, you get to get more sleep at night.
Yeah, unfortunately, Barry, no, it does not account for your spouses and their loans. It's specifically to the veterans themselves. Another cool thing is if you don't do it, the VA randomly or periodically sends that documentation into the program as well. So they may reach out to you If it's not on your radar, if you have not seen this video or know somebody who just went to 100%, or they're not even talking about their student loans or don't know this, so share this video with them, share the information with them. But the VA does periodically send the 100% letters to the TPD discharge program, and they'll automatically start processing it too if you're not on it like some of us were on it.
I see Barrett Claudia.
Yeah, has a question about the home loan.
Okay.
Yeah,
feel free to ask. We here. Absolutely. Yes, indeed. Well, I can go ahead and I'll jump back into the home loans itself. Some of the typical questions I see right now with veterans: what are the rates right now? I can only again give averages because, of course, it does depend on your credit and other your own personal credit profile. But the rates we've been seeing have been around the low 3s. And of course, again, you may have some lenders out there that may have a more attractive rate than that. But again, you want to do your homework on that and find out, is that the discount points or the call it the buyback points.
Mm-hmm.
So you would just want to do your homework on that. So get with your lender on that. Absolutely.
Nice.
Absolutely. Some of one of the biggest lenders I see right now with the VA home loans across the nation. Of course, I do not endorse them at all.
Right.
Veterans United is like the biggest one in the country I see right now, and of course, there's other ones out there, but it doesn't necessarily have to be the biggest company for the mortgage loan lenders. Just make sure you get with somebody that's going to tailor your needs and stuff, and that will take your calls and will call you back. So. Oh, somebody has a question here. Isaac, for loan.
Yeah, for the loan, what if you're still in school? Isaac, here's my advice to you. Wait till you're done with school is what I would advise you. If you're already 100% and you're currently in school, wait till you're done before you apply.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yep.
So can I buy in the other state a house off? I already own a house and use for remodeling. As in, can they do that with the VA loan? I believe that's what Monica is saying.
Yeah, you probably want to go to your lender about that and ask them particularly, because that may be a program out there to do that. But a lot of times I know the lender's been having to do like a second type of HELOC type loan to do like doing the renovations around the house and doing the fixer-uppers and stuff like that. But yeah, get your lender about that, because there's different particulars that may or may occur with that type of process. Yep.
Yeah. I see Carla Maria. She said, "Can I apply for forgiveness after I complete school in little over a year?" Absolutely. If you are 100% disabled and or TDIU, yes, you can. Yeah. Are you familiar with New Day USA, Reggie? I know I've seen some of the commercials that show up. I believe the person who runs that organization is a veteran as well. So I saw somebody ask that particular question.
Yeah, you can definitely refi a VA home loan, particularly New Day. I've seen their information and stuff. Of course, again, I can't endorse the company.
Right.
I can only tell you to go ahead and just put them on a list along with 2 or 3 other companies out there, and just do your due diligence. Ask them, what is entailing my refinance of my loan? Or you're going to streamline it? Is there any secret charges behind it? Or you're going to do appraisal on my home again? Those are the questions that you want to ask this lender that plans to try to refinance your home.
Yeah. And our brother Horace is asking questions as well. He getting all types of offers. I bet you he getting spammed just like I'm getting spammed. He's asking, should you reconsider refinancing?
Now, to be honest, I've done one of my properties like that before in regards to refinancing. And I can only speak for me personally. I only did it if I got a rate that was 1% lower. To make sense mathematically. But again, everybody is different. So you want to compare how much your rate is now to what the rate will be if you decide to refi, and just see how much the savings will be. Because realize when you refinance the loan, there are going to be some little bit charges going to make the loan go back up. So do realize that. Yes, indeed.
Okay. And yeah, actually, this is a big question for a lot of people, and I'm glad you asked me about the credit score, man. I'm not one of those people who shy away from the things that we should be talking about, right? So that was the least impersonal question you could ask me at this point in my life, right? Because it matters to a lot of people, right? And we know that your credit score dictates a lot of things that happen in your life. And we were talking about the biggest purchase you'll probably ever make for a lot of people. And like you said, you brought up earlier, being your home, then that credit score matters, man. Can you speak to a little bit about that? And I can share my own personal experience, and I don't mind at all. Because like I said earlier, you know, I filed for bankruptcy in 2014, and you know, the recovery has been awesome, right? And I've purchased 3 homes since that period, and I hit my 7-year mark next month, right, from just filing for it altogether, man. So can you speak a little bit about the credit scores that you see or something?
Yeah. So from what I've seen, and of course research is real, so I've seen people get approved as low as like 580, 590. But if you go with that type of score, you're gonna have to do something in regards of maybe kind of stepping it up more, because your rate will be higher with that type of score. So typically with some of our clients that we'd have them in the mid 600 scores, and real good, decent rates. And of course,
And that's what I've been seeing as well, from the 650 to the 680, 690 range, to get a pretty decent rate for people out there. Clean up your credit, right? Man, I implore you, right? It is very important. There's a lot of tools and resources out there. And you know, reach out to some of your fellow veterans, man. The community is amazing. You know, I've actually, you know, reached out to some credit services, and just to kind of inquire and educate myself through that process. We know that it's not taught in school for the things that are the most important for us in our lives, right? Like your credit score. So have those conversations, ask those questions, things you have to do, things you should do, right? I did what they call the debt snowball, and started paying down my highest debts first with the highest interest rate, and just started working my way down. And I've made almost a full recovery since my bankruptcy almost 7 years ago.
Absolutely, yeah, definitely credit worthiness, and then also clean your credit is huge, not only just on your home, but also in life itself. You know, because you never know what may come up where you're gonna have to use your credit to do something. So I would urge all my vets, you know, just to periodically take a look at your credit score. You know, there's sites out there that you can do it for free. Don't get on those sites that's got a hidden charge in there. They try to get, great, go on in. All of a sudden, subscription. What? 7 days?
Right. Yeah.
Nah, that's not free. We talking about free 99.
Right. Yeah.
Yes.
Annualcreditreport.com is the government-backed website that you actually go to and get a copy of your credit report once a year. I myself, I use my FICO. I check my credit report like I check my bank account, right? I wake up, make sure that ain't nothing burning in my life from, you know, the organization. That I look at my bank account, that I look at my credit score to see what's going on, right? Make sure that nothing's happening, man, because I work too hard, man, to be able to do some of the great things, especially with the VA home loan, right?
Absolutely.
Good stuff.
Absolutely. It's like somebody has do you have recommendations for improving credit as far as companies? Again, I do know companies out there. Of course, I don't endorse none of them. I would tell you to do your research. And then another thing to make sure is making sure that you're going to somebody directly, because there are some credit companies out there that use like a middleman, and that's how to make money off of your situation. You know, so make sure that you seek a company that's actually one point of contact, or at most two, that's specifically doing your credit. It's going to work on your scores, but you want to look that up online and do your research.
Absolutely.
Yes,
Take a couple
indeed.
more questions before we get out of here. Anybody have anything?
Credit Karma. All right. Credit Karma. This is what my queen tells me. If she'll be here right now, she'll be like, "Oh, I can speak on this." Credit Karma is a feel-good score credit service that you can use, right? I mean, it gives you just a general idea, but it does not give you the exacts on your credit score. So it's a good tool,
yeah.
but I wouldn't just base off of everything with that. And then you want to get with a lender that actually can get you the specific credit scores out there for you.
Yeah. So Credit Karma uses what they call the Vantage score, and they use Vantage score 3.0. That score is different from your FICO score, which your lender will use, right? And people don't understand that you have a regular FICO score, and you have a mortgage FICO score, you have a credit card FICO score, you have an auto lender FICO score, and those numbers are different. And it's not just a one size fit all. And even with the mortgage scores, there's different scoring models that they use, right? And even for auto lenders, they have like scoring model 5, 4, and 2, and they have scoring model number 9. And it just depends on which one the lender actually uses. And when you're talking about a home loan specifically, the score that they concentrate on is what they call the median score, right? So out of all 3 of your scores, they use the middle one to assess your credit worthiness, right? So for example, if you have a 650 for Equifax, a 700 for TransUnion, and a 675 for Experian, they would use your median score as the basis or the barometer to get your loan qualified.
Absolutely. And then a lot of people don't realize with those bureaus, they're based off different sides of the country. TransUnion is based off the West Coast. And then you also have Experian, that is in the Midwest, and Equifax is based out of Atlanta on the East Coast.
Yeah.
So, and you can tell which ones are higher because it's ones you do more or less business with on the side of the country.
Yeah.
So, absolutely.
Yeah.
All privately owned.
Yeah, that's a topic for a whole nother day. Right? We'll be here all day talking about that, man. But I enjoy it, man, and I embrace it. And the same way I attack helping veterans with the same zeal of getting their VA disability. That's the same way I talk about things like financial, I wouldn't call it advice because I'm not a financial advisor in no way, shape, form, or fashion. But we can have an educated conversation that I can give you some knowledge or point you into the right resources to do some of those things. And I always share with everybody what I'm personally doing. So it doesn't come across as financial advice. I'm just telling you what I'm doing. Right. That's it. Right. What helped and worked out for me. And, I may know a few people.
Absolutely. Let's see, Mr. Brian Hutchison. He says, I know that is something, but asking about a musculoskeletal issue, for example, if I read correctly, you can get multiple ratings for the knee. Can someone please explain how that works?
Hey, Brian. Absolutely. So your body is made up of different things, and the VA rates disabilities based on different criteria. So the knee is no different, right? Versus, if you had a spinal issue or something like that in your back, or lower lumbar or upper L1, L4, L5, S1 type of condition in your back, the knee is no different from that, and it's just based on different structures.
Yep. Okay, let's see here. This conversation had a... Okay.
No, Gerald, we were talking about student loans can be forgiven, not your home loan. And if there is a program where they can forgive your home loan, you reach out to me and we'll get it talking and get it going. But that would be awesome, right?
Right now, we be driving the car to your house.
Right. Man, we'll be on our way, man.
Oh, man.
So awesome, man. Let's go ahead and end it for the day. I thank you, everybody, for participating and ask your question. It does not stop here. Please don't hesitate to reach out to myself or Reggie. We are here. We are a part of the Facebook Mastermind group. My email would show up also in the comments. Anything that you have any questions about, reach out to your coach, reach out to a fellow veteran. Thank you for being insiders. We look forward to serving each and every one of y'all, right? And we love you.
Absolutely.